Hello, Scatman from AdventuresOfScatman.com, and so this is Night Hiking 101. This is actually supposed to be an actual hike, but just like last week's hike, which I named Hike Fail, if you watch that video, this one didn't go as well as planned either, and this is something that I wanted to address. My website was not intended to be a what not to do website when it comes to hiking or anything like that, or running or biking, but actually a place to go and get useful tips and people to be able to follow my adventures. So I decided to turn this hike into a instructional video on night hiking. And the first thing I learned was know your gear, and that goes without saying in any activity that you do. But the biggest thing for me tonight was I was trying to run my headlamps low to save batteries. I have two headlamps, the one shining on me now and another one back in the car. But even with the indicator light on the headlamp, the newer ones today, do you know the last time you changed your batteries were? These ones that are shining on me now, they're brand new. But I don't know how long that actually lasts on the highest setting. What does it last in the lowest setting? Or any combination between. These are things that you need to know on a night hike. So think about that, knowing your gear. Map and compass, great. A lot of people carry them, but they don't know how to use them. So that's the biggest one right there. The next one is know your surroundings. I knew exactly where I was going. I've done the hike a few times, but at night everything's different. Hiking actually at night is a lot slower. It's not as bad as snow, so keep that in mind when you're planning your trip and how long it's going to take you. Know you're not going to be able to hike as fast as you normally do. And the reason why you can't hike as fast as you normally can is because of the bad depth perception when you're hiking at night. With your headlamp up on your head, the shadows from rocks are actually make it a lot harder to actually tell how tall they are or how deep holes are. So one thing you can do is wear a chest mount strap, or some people take their headlamps and they put it onto a belt and they wear it on their waist. Two things you can do to cut down the depth perception issue with your headlamp on your head. Something to try. Another thing you want to know is when you're hiking out here at night, I was by myself, probably not the best idea to do, and that was one of the things that was actually kind of bothering me. I was planning on going about 20 miles. 20 miles is not a big deal, but it's a long way to go, and I met two gentlemen coming in when I was going into my hike, and I asked them if they thought I was crazy, but after they asked me what my skill level was, and I told them I hiked the Appalachian Trail and the Long Trail and also the Pacific Crest Trail, and I told them I had a full night's worth of gear with me, they were like, oh, sounds like you're prepared, you know. They said you might get spooked, but when that sun comes up, you're going to be like, wow, that was an awesome hike. And I'm sure I would have felt that way, but it is different to be out here at night. I mean, it doesn't seem right when you're hiking in the middle of the night and you look around and it's pitch black, and it does play with your mind, so that's something you have to prepare for. So probably hiking in group, hiking at night, probably best done as a group, or maybe not as long as a hike as I was doing. And I also heard that there was a bear out here in the woods someplace too, so that also was on my head. Sorry, in my mind, not in my head. That would be bad. So those are some small tips right there to think about, and also too, you know, when you're hiking, you know, just go slow. If you ever get sidetracked, you know, look at your map and just stop. Like they say, if you get lost, you stop, you backtrack to the last place you were at. I mean, hiking at night, most trails are pretty easy to follow. You're not going to go out and find some bushwhack to do in the middle of the night, but pick a good trail that's safe, maybe not too rocky, not too much exposure. Know your gear. Hike in a group. Obviously let people know where you're going, and plan on taking your time, and you should enjoy yourself. And as I said, just know that it's a different experience at night, and you have to be mentally prepared for it, probably more than you are going to be physically, because it is just an odd world to be in here and out here at night, and it's just not something that most hikers are used to. With all my miles of hiking and all those 3 trails that I mentioned, at no point did I ever hike through the night. Some people do, and that's fine. If you're above a ridge line, and you can see around, and you can hike without a headlamp and go through the night, that's fine. But if you're in dense woods, you're probably going to want to run the headlamp all night, because it's going to help animals know that you're there, and obviously going to help you see. You don't want to have an altercation with an animal. But when I was spending most of my time on my hikes, nighttime was the time I spent in my tent. So all those things that went bang and crash in the middle of the night, I didn't hear them because, one, I had earplugs in, and two, I was sleeping. So just keep in mind, just because you've hiked thousands of miles or even hundreds or whatever it might be during the day, night hiking is a lot different, and you have to be prepared for it. So review these things coming up here on the screen, and be safe. And this is Scatman saying, get out there.